Hello everyone. Well, this is what I've been doing today. Hours and hours preparing these boards ready for painting. I've been putting all the tops on and then gessoing them. Here's my big ones, my small ones. I've been putting these tops on, and then I've been taping all the backs and putting the little push pins in and then gessoing them. Now, they've all only had one coat of gesso, so I've still got 2 more coats to do on all these before I can start painting on them. So that's my day. That's what I've been doing. But they're nearly done. The gessoing is the easy part. So next step, painting. Yay! So let's get on and make an art piece. So we've got a canvas. We've got it on a Lazy Susan, which I'm just testing it out really for this because it's a bit wobbly. I've just rediscovered it because I bought it a good while ago. I got it from IKEA a good few years ago actually, and I was using it before, but then we moved, and then when we moved we had some building work done on the new place, which is where we are now. Although we've been here 2.5 years, it's been going on for a long time. So I've just rediscovered it. So what I'm doing today is I wanted to show you a bit more of how I do my paints, because a lot of people have been asking on social media about the thickness of my paints and everything, because when I use my paints I have them in these little bottles. So what I've done today is put some, just left some in the little pots that I mixed them in, so I can show you the consistencies. So first of all, for my pillow or my base paint, I just use a emulsion. It's Valspar from B&Q, and it's just the ordinary interior walls and ceiling silk emulsion. So I put that on first, and I just put it in these bottles because it's just a lot easier. Because when you first get your paint, you need to give it a good old mix to make sure all the binding agents are mixed together. Just get my other bottle because there's not much left in that one. But I have some more prepared. So you give it a good mix. Make sure it's all like a good 10 minutes. I have a big wooden spoon that I mix mine with. I don't use it for cooking. I just use it for my paints. Make sure all the binding agents are mixed together, and it takes a long time to do it. And then let it stand so you get all the air bubbles out of it. Well, as many air bubbles as we can. There's always air bubbles. Air bubbles are the bane of our lives, our paint pourers. So just go along and pop them with a little stick, because you can't really torch this, because if you torch it, it just forms a little skin over the top. And causes all sorts of problems with the drying. So I'm just going to tilt that to cover the edges a little bit, because this is a deep canvas, so just want to get it flowing a bit. And then I shall put another lot of paint on the centre for the pillow part. Looks like I've got something in there. Get that out. So I wanted to show you the consistency of my paints, and the last video I didn't show you quite what I put in my recipes, and I got so many questions, and I should just have done it straight off really. So my pouring medium is the Valspar Premium Wood and Metal Blend V700 Base C Satin, and I mix it in these bottles. Well, I mix it in a big jug and then I put it in these bottles, and I'll mix that with polyurethane varnish. And you can use Minwax or any polyurethane varnish that makes sure it doesn't yellow, doesn't go yellow over time. It needs to be polyurethane, clear gloss and water-based. So as long as it says water-based and make sure it doesn't yellow over time, it should be okay. So I mix it mostly 3 parts for the Valspar base C to 1 part of the varnish. And then I mix it in the jug and then I pour it into these bottles. I need to mix another batch because I've just used it all up actually. My paints, I'm not using this colour today, but I've just left this one in the pot so I can show you the consistency that I do for this type of pour. So I just do it so it forms a little heap and then disappears into the paint. So it piles up on top of each other and then disappears. And that's for my colours. Now for my cell activator, I use Amsterdam, titanium. Do you know, I'm obsessed with titanium. I don't know what it is. Amsterdam. This is one of the colours I'm using today. And this is Ultramarine Violet. And I'm also using Amsterdam Black Oxide. And the consistency, I mix that with Flood Floetrol. This is the Australian Flood Floetrol. We have, because I'm in the UK, we do have Floetrol in the UK, but it's the Oatrol. It doesn't really work. Well, I haven't had any good results with it at all. So it's the Flood Floetrol from Australia. And I bought this off eBay. This little bottle was £25, which is a lot of money. That's £25 including shipping from Australia. It's only 500 ml, but you do only use a little bit of it. So I mix 3 parts of Floetrol to 1 part paint, and the consistency is runnier than the paints that I mix with the pouring medium. So it forms a little puddle and then disappears almost straight away. So I hope you can see that on there. So it's thinner than the paints. So that's that. Now, my colours. I think I've told you everything there that you need to know. My colours today I'm using are, they're all Pebeo paints, and there's Payne's Grey, there's Iridescent Orange Yellow, Iridescent Gold, which is it's a lot lighter gold than I've been using for the last couple of videos I've done, and turquoise blue, all Pebeos, and I've put them in my little bottles. So these little bottles I get off Amazon, and you get a set of 12. You get 6 big ones and 6 small ones, and I put my paints in the big ones and my cell activators in the small ones so I don't get mixed up. Although, having said that, I've got quite a lot of the little ones left because you get 6, and I use far more of the bigger ones for the paints. So that's that. I just put them in those bottles because it's easier to pour out. So I'm going to put my pillow on and crack straight on with this. Oh gosh, I got in a right state earlier. I thought I'd test things out, you know. I don't record them because I do a lot of things where I test things out, so if they work then I can show you how they work. If they don't work then I don't see the point in showing you, unless you want me to, of course. Unless you want me to do my testings on camera, I'm happy to do it. But I'm glad I didn't do this one on camera because I decided to test out this. It's that air spray that you use to clean your computer keyboards and things like that, sold in computer shops. Well, you can get this from the pound shop, Poundland in the UK, for £1. And I thought, oh, I'll test that out, see if it blows the paint nicely. Well, I did test it off the paint and it seemed okay. I thought, oh, it's not too strong. So did it over my paint and it went everywhere. Everywhere. I got covered in paint. So you would have had a good laugh at that one if I'd have been recording it. So anyway, here we go. Today we're going Payne grey first. So I do like using these bottles because it's just so easy to control. And I like a nice covering of it. Let's cover those white bits up. You don't have to put such a big puddle of the paint on, but I just like to. Then I've got the option of whether I want to tilt it right to the edges or not. And then we're going with the iridescent orange yellow. And then the iridescent gold. And then the turquoise blue. And then today I'm doing 2 cell activators for the first time. I've not used 2 before, so this is a test that I've not done, that you're witnessing firsthand. And I'm going to do black oxide and the ultramarine violet colours today. So I think what I'm going to do first is go and put the black on first. Just torch those bubbles on the colours there. I really need to get a new torch because my torch broke, so I'm still using this little candle lighter one. But it's ideal for this when I just want to do this little bit in the centre. I really must treat myself to a new torch. There's still a couple there, look. It's not very powerful, that little candle lighter one. So, I can't decide which one to do first. I think I'm going to go black first. Just get it running nicely first. And then we're going to do the ultramarine violet. And I'm going to use my turkey baster to blow it out. But I had a lady called Eileen Whiteman ask me why I took the little pump off. She said, why didn't you do it with the pump on? But I've tried it just against my hand and it really doesn't blow very much at all. But so it doesn't really work. So I'm going to take that off and blow it out with my mouth through this turkey baster. that to come back up again. Let the cells form. That's how it looks now. So we'll just let that come back up and then we'll start tilting. The colours are looking quite pretty. So while that's coming back up, what I'll do is just get some of this white that's fallen off and just cover the edges a bit more. Just help the paint flow when we start tilting. It does make it a bit easier actually on this Lazy Susan. So I've had a right old day today, finishing off my canvas, my boards, my paint boards, and giving them their coats of gesso. It all takes so long, those sort of jobs. So I really wanted to get stuck into some actual art. So it's quite nice to be doing this tonight. Because it's quite late. So I think it's, I don't even know what time. I take my watch off when I'm doing this because I get covered in paint. Actually covered. I'm such a messy worker, it's ridiculous. So I get everything covered in paint. Well, I particularly did earlier when I used that flipping hair stuff. Oh dear, it was funny. It really was funny. Neil wondered what the heck was happening. I squealed. Oh dear. Poor Neil. I say that a lot, you know. Poor Neil. He has a lot to put up with. Right, let me start tilting this, see how we get on. So just keep moving it backwards and forwards to start with. Make sure everything is moving nicely, which that all seems to be moving lovely. So we just stretch it a little bit, move it round, let it stretch naturally. I'm going to get this part here off first, because I definitely don't like that. So I'll tip it that way. Bring that paint down to help it flow. Off the edge and then back again. These first two corners move quite fast, but then it starts to slow down after these two. Off that edge and back. Back to the centre. And then we'll take it off that edge. And this is where it starts to move slower. You don't actually have to cover the whole canvas. We can leave some white if we feel that's going to work better. Off that edge and then back again. And this is where it gets very slow. That will stretch to that corner, but I'm going to leave that little bit of white. I quite like that because it's matching in with this little white part here as well. So I'm just going to tip it back to centre it a little bit. There, that looks really rather lovely. And then what I just want to do is I just want to get a straw. And I just want to blow this edge a little bit. Just so we haven't got those straight lines. And what I'm just going to do is put just a tiny weeny bit of the purple just to help it move a little bit. There. I'm happy with that. So I think that really looks rather lovely. What do you think? So I'll bring you down for the close-up. How pretty does that look? Those colours look really rather lovely together. That turquoise is beautiful. So if you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel. And thank you to everybody that's already subscribed. I'm so grateful to every single one of you. So please subscribe and click the little bell notification, and also give it a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Feel free to share this video. How gorgeous is that? I just love that. Absolutely love it. So I will put some photos up at the end as well to let you see when I've cleaned all the mess up from around it. And I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.